Hello and welcome, everyone. I am Mistress Winter. I am Mistress Winter, your hostess for tonight's episode, and probably several more down the road, I am told. This is Natural Juan. I'm going to introduce the wonderful channel that is allowing me to facilitate the game for this evening. And we are playing the Daggerheart Beta Adventure. And I am so excited to dive into it already. I've played it before. It's a lot of fun. It's a really cool system. And it was a blast. And I know that my players are going to have a blast tonight. So let's go ahead and introduce them, starting with the usual host of the show, Natural One.
Hi there. My name's Juan. I am the host and producer of Too Legit to Crit and also the Crit List, which is what you're watching now. And I will be playing, and for the third time tonight, I've forgotten my character name. I will be playing Varian, who is a wild-born Qatari ranger.
Wonderful. Can't wait to see him in action. Thank you so much. Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. Unfortunately, I don't have titles as fancy as one. I'm just here. And tonight I'm going to be playing Garrick Reed, who's a human fighter sort of warrior.
Wonderful. Oh, before we get too far, can we also get pronouns for each you and the characters? For Juan?
Okay, so both myself and for my character, it's he/him.
Perfect. Wonderful. And for Chris?
Again, both exactly the same. He, him.
Wonderful. And Rosalie.
Hi, my name is Rosalie. Please feel free to call me Rosie for short or any other nickname you might think of as long as it's a nice nickname and not a mean one. I am a regular cast member on Tabletop Tailspinners along with Mistress Winter. We're both cast members on Magnificence, which is a dark fantasy D&D 5e podcast. Also listen to All Our Faults, which I'm not on, but Winter is. I don't know where you are on the screen. I keep pointing where you are on my screen, but I know it might be different. I'm also regularly on Game Master Monday. Currently, I am in the Twisted Fates Twitch channel's Candela Obscura campaign. I am in Chapter 2, The Scarlet Letter with the Circle of the Sunstone Charter, so check that out as well.
Absolutely. Like just huge list of projects and accolades. You are very prolific and it's awesome. Thank you. Did you introduce who you're playing?
I did not. I forgot to. I am
There you
playing
go.
Kari Nix. Also, she, her pronouns for her as well. She is a Ridgeborn, which means she's from the mountains, if you don't know the fancy Daggerheart background names. Giant, and a stalwart guardian.
Ooh. I will say that Kari was the character that I played when I ran through the adventure, and I loved the character. So
It's been
I
a
hope
long
you
time since
enjoyed
I
it.
played a traditional tanky character, rather than a wizard that somehow is a tank through spellcasting. So
Right? Yeah, as you do on Magnificence. Awesome. Uh, Fantastic. And last but absolutely not least, Peachy.
Hi, I'm Peachie, she, her, and I'm just your. I don't have any fancy names for anything either, or that I am in. I'm just a tabletop enthusiast. I like roleplay games, and trying new roleplay games and systems I think is very exciting. I draw a lot of art, so Peachy draws art. Peachy with an IE, if you want to see what I'm up to. And I'm going to be playing Marlowe Fairwind, who is a lore-born elf sorcerer. And it seems a little bit like this adventure is just her deciding to be everyone's problem. Yeah.
Making her problems everybody else's.
Yeah, she has a problem, and now it's everyone's because we share in this society.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you. I am glad you are all here. And yes, as Rosalie mentioned, as Mistress Winter, I am also primarily with the Tabletop Tailspinners Network. I am the storyteller for All Our Faults, amazing Monster Hearts 2 podcast, and I play Suda and Naime in Magnificence, the 5e podcast. from the same
Spoilers,
network.
Winter. That's not going to be out yet.
They've if they've been listening,
It's in the prologue monologues.
This is like the second episode. The second episode.
For reference, the in character party all just found out 6 months into recording.
I can
Yeah.
bleep this out in post. you
No,
know
it's
that,
not
right?
a spoiler. I was making jokes.
Redacted.
It's all good. So we are going to be playing Daggerheart, and these players have never played Daggerheart before, so we are going to do a little bit of education on the system and trial by fire. A couple of things: we are going to be using the Alchemy RPG virtual tabletop. It provides some amazing visuals as well as music and just some fun references. The music that you may or may not hear, if Juan ends up putting it into the stream, will be from a couple of artists, including Tabletop Audio and Scott Buckley, one of my favorite ambient music artists. So, Daggerheart. We're going to quickly go over the basics of what you need to know to start playing. Daggerheart is a collaborative narrative focused RPG. That means that all of us are going to be working together to tell the story using the mechanics as a foundation, as is typical with a lot of TTRPGs. Essentially, we're going to learn how to play Daggerheart tonight. You have all looked at your character sheets, and I'm going to explain to you how the dice work in Daggerheart. First, I'd like you to grab your 2d12. These are your duality dice. They should be distinguishable from each other because one is going to represent hope and one is going to represent fear. Now, when you have to roll those dice, which is going to be pretty frequently, I'll ask you to roll both of them. And you're going to add them up with and add in your associated trait. And then you're going to tell me what your total is and which of your die was higher. Did you roll higher with your hope or did you roll higher with your fear? And you can explain this by I got a 12 with fear or I got a 13 with hope. So for instance, if you're making an agility roll, you'll roll them together, add your +2 for agility if that's what you have, and then you'll count everything, tell me the result. If you rolled, for example, a 6 on the hope die and a 10 on the fear die, then that would be 16 +2, bringing it to a total of 18. Because the fear rolled higher, you have an 18 with fear. Now, sometimes in these roles, you might have some experience, or your character might have some experience that applies to the particular role. Maybe you're an expert climber or have really great perception. Those are listed under your skills on the left side of your character sheet. If you think that your experience could apply to a role, you simply need to declare it, explain how your experience works with this role, and you can add that bonus as well. It won't affect whether the hope or the fear wins out, but you might still succeed. And then finally, let's talk about spellcast rolls. Those action rolls are used using your spellcast trait, which will be on your foundation card if you're a spellcaster. For example, Marlowe, you have spellcast trait is instinct, so that will be your primary trait whenever you're spellcasting.
So it's to draw the D&D term. It's like being a charisma-based caster or a wisdom-based caster.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yes. All right. let's talk about how the roles will apply. So often I'll set a difficulty for the role based on the situation, and your goal is to meet or beat that number. If an ability or a spell has a number already with it in parentheses, so at the end of like spellcast, it'll have like parentheses and a number. That number is what you have to meet or beat in order to succeed. If you succeed, whatever the role, then whatever you wanted happens. Uh, if you don't, then you fail and something new happens. This is a system in which failure does not mean the story stops. It just means that it changes. So we're going to find a way that that failure moves the story forward instead of having you sit there and try to pick a lock for an hour, not making any progress. If you get a success with hope, this means that you accomplish your goal and all is well. You can continue the scene and you gain a hope. Mark that in your hope bar and make sure you track those because you can spend those for features. If you roll a success with fear, you still succeed, but there's a bit of a complication or a consequence that might pop up. And I might get to make what we call a GM move. That means that I'm going to change the story. I might have an encounter pop up. Something might happen. But in no way will I undermine what your success was. So if you picked a lock, you still picked the lock, but maybe there was an alarm attached to it. And as soon as the door opens, the alarm sounds. If you roll a failure with hope, then you don't get what you wanted, but they didn't go terribly bad. I'll make a move in line with the fiction, and then we'll just keep moving on. If you roll with fear, or a failure with fear, then the situation goes really badly. I get to make a move, and I might raise the stakes to heighten the dramatic tension. And then finally, the best for last, if you ever roll two of the same number, no matter if you succeed or fail, that is a critical success. So you roll two ones, that is a critical success. And you get what you wanted, plus a little extra. You get to mark a hope. You can also clear a stress if you have one. If it's an attack, you get to add the maximum your damage dice could do to your roll. So if you have a d8 plus 2, then you get to add 8 on top of everything else.
Yeah.
All right. Combat. We're going to talk about it very quickly. When you want to attack a target, you ask me if it's in range, and I will let you know if you're close enough to attack it if you're using melee, or if it's within your ranged weapon range. If you succeed against them, then you roll your damage. If something is attacking you, you're going to compare it to your evasion. Your evasion number is in the top left next to your traits. If it meets or beats your evasion, then you get hit. Now, your armor can reduce the amount of incoming damage. You can declare that your armor is going to take the hit. You mark a little box next to the armor because armor will wear out if it's used in this manner. And then you compare the final damage result to your damage threshold, which is right below that. The damage threshold, if it fails to even go over your minimum or your minor damage threshold, it does nothing. However, if it goes even 1 point over the minor, you take 1 hit point damage. If it goes over the major, then you take 2, I believe, and severe is 3. And if you max out in your hit points, that means that you have to make uh, a die or death decision, essentially. And we can go over those later if need be.
I have a
All
question
right.
regarding
Any
my sheet in
questions
specific.
there? Yes, Peachy.
Yes. Sorry, I
Yeah.
spoke too soon. So I have
Sure.
only 2
for it.
numbers for the damage thresholds. So I have, it says like minor damage, and then it says 6, and then it says major damage, and then it says 12, and then it says severe damage. So is anything below 6 minor damage? Above 6 major damage, and above 12 severe?
You're well, on your sheet it should be
Am I just
3,
very
8, and
squishy?
13.
I think this might. Hang on, let me scroll up to Marlowe's.
Yeah, mine's got 2 as well.
Yeah, this might have been something that they modified in later playtest versions, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
So for Marlowe, anything less than 6 would be minor damage. 6 to 11 would be major, and 12 and up would be severe.
So just extra squishy, I guess.
Yeah, maybe I've got an older version. Yeah. Okay.
We are playing, I think, version 1.5 is what we've got.
Everything
I probably have like
moves.
1.4 or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
It's a playtest. It'd be like
It's
that.
fine.
That's why we're here. We're gonna play.
Yeah.
We can complain about it like Karens.
So I'm sorry, Peachy. Did I answer your question or did I not?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
I have a question about I have the unstoppable class feature, and when that's active, I can increase my armor score by my proficiency.
Yes.
So what is my proficiency? I'm not seeing it on my
I
character sheet here.
believe it is above your weapon.
Just 1. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep.
That was all.
Yep. No worries. All right.
I have a question about mine.
Yes.
With experience. Now, I've got a couple of experiences, affable and hit them hard, yet I cannot seem to know when. There's no explanation of when they would apply.
That is really up to you.
Okay.
So if you're performing an action where you think that those would apply or one of those might apply, then you can make the case for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of mine is Royal Mage, and that's obviously always
for instance,
relevant.
I think like with
I think it's a really cool mechanic. I think experiences is a really cool mechanic.
Though I think I'm trying to remember. I think I'm good. All right. Any questions so far? Other questions?
No, I'm good. I'll be asking questions. I am sure once we get started. Be like, I'm sorry, but.
Oh, sure.
Sorry,
Yeah,
what was my
no
name again?
Yeah, that is.
Oh.
It feels until we get into combat, things are pretty straightforward. I think.
I'll make them complicated. Don't you worry.
Though I
They're
did want to
straightforward
go
as we allow
over.
them to be.
Yeah, whether they're straightforward or not, it makes a difference because I'm not going to get it sometimes.
Yeah. I did want to go over what you can do with hope if I can find.
I do have another question, actually.
I can go. I have it right in front of me, Winter. If you want. If you're okay with
yeah. Go for it.
You may spend hope to use your experiences, which all of us have different experiences.
So you do have to have a hope to spend to use your experiences. I thought I remembered that, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Or I believe we each have a unique class ability that we can use with our hope. Mine, for example, is Guardian's Hope. where I can recover some armor points, or you can use it to help an ally by letting them roll a d6 along with their hope and fear die to add to that roll.
Thank
And
you.
all of us, I
appreciate it.
believe, should start with 2 hope marked.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you should have some trackers in alchemy. If you don't, if you go under trackers on the bottom right, you can enter it in, use pips to be able to track that, or
Ooh, that's
track it
handy.
however you want.
I can do notes on here as well.
All right.
I've never used
And the
alchemy
rest, we're just
before.
kind of going to learn as we play. Yes.
I did have 2 questions.
Okay, go for it.
One was, or one was more of a statement, which is I've never used alchemy before.
Okay.
It's a learning curve, I'm realizing. 2 was in this little video I saw where they were like explaining the game. They were talking about like downtime activities. Is that something that's going to be relevant, or are we more just doing like a short combat adventure?
Yes, there will be opportunities for you to make short rests. A long rest is a possibility, but most likely not.
Okay. That was all. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Wonderful. All right. So, this evening, your party finally has made it to Sablewood, a sprawling forest of colossal trees that some say even are older than the gods. It's a place renowned for 2 things: its sunken pathways that provide the trade routes for many traveling merchants, and its unique hybrid animals. Even now, from within your carriage, you can hear strange sounds permeating the environment around you. The bird calls of the lark moths, the croak of the lemur toads, the skittering of a family of foxbats in the underbrush. One of you is driving the carriage. Who is it? All right, Varian.
I will offer myself as tribute.
You've noticed something unique about the look of the trees here in Sablewood. What is it?
I think probably that they're not as they're a bit more barren than they should be for this time of year.
Ooh, maybe something is affecting the trees. Their leaves have not fully come in. Maybe the flowers that were supposed to bloom in this season have yet to bud.
Yeah, there's something definitely not right here.
Wonderful. Where are the rest of you in relation to Varian as he scans the canopy and notes the various patchwork?
I imagine Marlo would probably be passenger princess. Like, she likes being up front and in control, but not actually driving anything.
Okay, absolutely. So up
Do
front
you
with Varian?
Yeah.
Do you think this is more of an open top cart, or is there an inside?
Which do you prefer?
I was kind of thinking open top cart, but I don't know if Marlo would travel in such a fashion.
We're trying to be discreet, so begrudgingly, it's okay.
Okay, I imagine this crate that we are transporting is like underneath a tarp that has been tied down in multiple ways. I don't think elastic exists yet, but if it did, we would have so many bungee cords on that thing.
We've magically invented elastics for this adventure.
Fantastic. So I'm imagining Marlo and Varian at the front, and then just like maybe Garrick and Kari just literally like sitting back to back with them in the carts.
Garrick is probably just using the crate as a pillow, just.
I have found a leaf that I have kind of put on top of his mouth to see how that's before he exhales.
This is actually a good opportunity to describe your characters. Let's start with our driver, Varian, if you would not mind describing yourself for the audience.
Okay, so Varian is Qatari, so he is a cat, a humanoid feline. I think some of his ancestry lean more towards the humanoid. He definitely does not. He leans more towards the feline side of things. So he's got very cat-like features, almost lion-like. He's got like a very quite a thick golden fur. He's got very sort of deep emerald-colored eyes, quite slim but toned. He's not wearing the clothes he's wearing are very functional. You know, he doesn't go into extravagance in any way, shape, or form.
Sure. Wonderful. How about Marlo?
Marlo is the opposite. She's very lavishly decorated. Not like excessively, but you can still very much tell that she is very proper, and she's a member of the royal court. She's not like a queen or anything, but she's the right hand to the king. She's an elf, so she's got a she's very proud of being an elf, so to speak. So she's like the stereotypical noble elf with extra pizzazz. A little chunkier, very magical. She tries to put on a very stern face, but if you have any sort of like empathy in your being, you can tell that there's a lot of internal fires in her body.
Interesting. That's a lovely visual, or at least very unique visual. Flames on the side of my face. I would love it if people get that reference. Anyway, thank you. How about Kari?
Kari, as a giant, has at least 2 feet on whoever is the next tallest member of the party. Very broad shoulders. She does wear chainmail. Her clothing and armor are well made, but not ornate. Very sturdy, very well cared for. Not the newest and not the most fashionable. Not a ton of jewelry or anything. She does have her hair tied back in one long braid down her back. Very dark hair. Goodness me. Sorry, that threw me off.
Emergency personnel go by.
Oh dear, oh my gosh.
She's so hot, they're coming for her.
The illustration does have one eye, but that bothers me as an optician. She does have 2 eyes because otherwise she wouldn't have depth perception, and that would be an issue when you have as long of arms as she does.
You know what? This we're playing for fun, so you can make her whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I think
Wonderful.
in her bearing and nature, she doesn't seem overly stern or grumpy or anything like that, but she's also not super chipper. She just has kind of a calm, accepting presence, I think is how I would put it. She doesn't seem overly intimidating until you realize how much bigger she is than everybody next to her, and then maybe
Right.
a little. Also, the axe on the back, very intimidating. But if you ignore that,
Yeah,
She's
you
far
know,
away,
just-
and you're like, yeah, That's fine. And then she comes closer and she just keeps getting bigger. I'm like, oh, surely.
I crush you.
Who is that average sized human in the background? Ah.
And last but
no.
not least, our wonderful Garrick, who is snoozing away in the back of the cart.
Exactly. Garrick's a human, sort of average height, shaggy, unkempt hair, wearing armor and clothing that, again, are quite well made but worn. They have seen a lot of things. Brandishing a longsword, and yeah, just lying in the back, taking a time when he can, I believe.
Wonderful. So the cart rumbles forward, pulling itself over large stones and very rough road terrain. While these roads are used fairly frequently, they are unfinished, and there's deep grooves from heavier wagons that have passed before. As your steeds pull the carriage around a particularly tight corner, one wheel coming off the ground for just a moment, maybe unsettling everyone and briefly waking Garrick from his slumber.
Sorry.
I warned you.
And I'll nudge Marlowe slightly.
Just be careful.
Sorry, it was not my fault.
Where does leaf come from?
It's fine.
We're in a wood.
As you come around the corner, you see an overturned merchant's cart laying sideways on the path before you, blocking your progression. A scattering of fruits and vegetables litter the trail. What would you like to do?
So I'll slow down with the cart. And there is no way around.
It is firmly blocking your progression. You will have to at least shove it to the side to be able to make progress.
Okay, so
Is it just me or does this seem like a trap?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Are there any
Right.
horses or humanoid bodies present, or is it just the cart?
Not from where you sit in the. You can't see anything of that nature from where you sit in the wagon.
If I stand up.
Fair enough. Kari
Like a tower.
stands up, looming over the rest of you. You can see just over the lip of the overturned wagon that there is movement. And from around the side of the carriage steps a Strix wolf. It is a large creature with the body of a wolf and the face of an owl, and the large wings adorning its back. It seems to be finishing chewing a meal, bloody and gory, bits of blood dripping from its beak as it eyes you very warily. It stares
I
at
don't
you,
think it's here to make conversation.
curious, trying to judge whether you are friend or foe.
Food.
We come in peace.
I don't know that it speaks humanoid languages.
I'd rather try.
Okay. I want to try now, because I've got experience. I've got nature's friend.
Ooh.
So what I want to do is I want to try shoo it away using that. So that would cost me a hope if I'm not mistaken, yeah?
Yes, it would. Yeah.
And as for what stat or what trait,
So in that case, you can kind of make a case for something, maybe like instinct, or let me see, instinct or presence. Either one of those might be fitting for the situation.
well, I think yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'll go presence. I know mechanically that kind of hampers me a tiny bit, but I think I just kind of see it happening a bit more, where he will try and use his presence to try and kind of shoo it away.
Okay.
So that using the point of hope, that gives me a +1. All right. Okay. Here we go.
All right.
Okay. So I got a 19 with fear.
Wow. Amazing. Um, so, you describe what you do as far as trying to shoo the Strix wolf away.
So what he'll probably do is he'll probably stand up on the from where he's sitting, and he'll try make himself look bigger and probably roar at this thing.
Ooh. Okay. Uh, you puff up, make yourself bigger,
Yeah.
let out a ferocious roar, and as you do, the Strix wolf gets her hackles up and but slinks back. Simultaneously, further movement catches your eye as two small pups scatter and skitter behind their mother uh, for protection. Um, the mother howls as if calling to another Strix wolf among the trees. You know you might not be alone for long.
See, that wasn't that wasn't whatever languages we speak. We don't speak English here. I don't know, common. that,
How far away did this thing back up from the cart?
A
Yeah.
good 15 feet away from the cart, leaving this like little bloody trail to whatever she had been munching on.
Do we get the impression that if we like ran up to the cart and quickly tried to get it out of the way, it wouldn't pounce?
You can get that idea from Varian that mom's not going to risk her pups in the current situation by making any forward attack. So if you keep your if you don't bother her at the moment, then yes, you can do what you need to do.
Garrick will kind of nudge Kari and say, "Should we get this thing out of the way?"
got it. I'll hop out of the cart and head over. Presuming
Hold on,
Garrick
Lisa.
is going to check on to see if there's any living creatures still in there first. I want to
Yeah.
face towards the tree line and like be on lookout. And then once you know if there's anything to be rescued, we work on moving that cart.
Varian would
When
also
they-
be on lookout. Just
When they leave the cart, Marlowe's gonna jump back and just like protect their cargo while
course, of
keeping an
course.
eye out from the back.
So Garrick will run around and see if there's actually anybody alive, or anybody or anything that needs rescuing.
All right. You approach the cart, or as you approach the cart, you can see more of the damage, and um, the body of a merchant is what the Strix wolf had been munching on, um, and yeah, that was the primary interest.
I'm not the one searching the cart. Never mind. I was gonna ask a question, and I'm like, wait, no, I'm not an investigator this time.
Is there anything of value?
Ooh,
Thank you.
Good question. Yeah.
Anybody need help? No? What have you got?
What's in your pockets?
I don't necessarily think Garrick will probably rifle through his pockets, but he'll have a quick look over and see if there's anything worthwhile, because at the main time, we want to kind of get this out of the way just in case more of them turn up.
Sure. So the cart appears to have been stripped of anything of any particular value. You have the dead driver at almost under the cart, mangled arm, picked over by the strict wolf for food. But you will notice that it does not seem to be a claw or tooth that ended this poor merchant's life, but a clean cut across the throat.
Makes sense. They're scavengers and not ambush predators.
No, I think something else killed him, and this creature was just capitalizing on the murder.
I was pretty sure. I don't know a ton about Strixel specifically, but I was pretty sure they don't usually attack whole wagons.
No, by the looks of it, either this wagon was ambushed by somebody else, or business partner just got fed up. So either way, it needs to be moved.
Well, I grab the two. We're trying to. Is it on its side? Remind me, or
Yeah, it's on its side.
Can I just reach up and try to just push down the side that's sticking up?
Oh, and just kind of
pull it down instead of trying to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But as you go to move the wagon, you notice something strange. You see the remnants of thorny brambles tangled around the wheel, one of the wheels of the carriage, and follow the broken lines that are strewn across the road, almost like spike strips.
Garrick will turn around to Varian and sort of look at him and look around and say, I'm pretty sure this was an ambush.
Garrick, if you will, roll me a instinct roll. Difficulty 14 is what you're aiming for.
2d12 plus nothing. Joy.
Is there a way I can
That's 9 with fear.
9 with ooh.
I was gonna see if there was a way I could help. I had to remind myself if that makes sense. Yeah, because I would
hope to spend. Yeah.
Yeah. I will spend a hope to help with that, as I am also looking out, trying to figure out. This is clearly some kind of ambush that happened. It seems like maybe a little bit magical kind of ambush with these thorns and stuff growing in unnatural ways. I also do have, I'm not using it here, but I do have the experience, I've got your back, and that sounds like being on the lookout for people that you're protecting to me. And so it makes a lot of sense, I think, for me to be spending a hope to help this year.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
that
absolutely.
means you get to add a d6.
Yes, add a d6. So roll a d6, add it to your final result.
Please roll well.
Don't put that pressure.
Oh no! Is it 1?
back, but you gotta got your front, man.
Yeah.
Can't be concerned with all of you.
In a
No,
whirlwind.
it's tiring. I've gone round. I've looked at the car. I've looked at this. I'm now on the lookout for everything.
I know. You need your nap time, and it got interrupted.
I know. You're so drowsy. In a whirlwind of cracking branches and unsheathed blades, a group of 4 thistle folk jump out from the brush alongside the road. The overturned cart was an ambush. They stand before you, weapons drawn, blocking the road. This is where we're going to initiate the action tracker, and we're going to set up our first combat. And they will act first, thanks to that failure.
It happens to the best of us.
It really does. Now, thistlefolk are small humanoid frog-like people. And to give you a bit of, let's see, they take up residence in the place where nobody else dares, within the thickest, thorniest brambles of Sablewood. Because the only thistlefolk who emerge from the seclusion of their hidden villages are often thieves coming out to steal goods from unwitting travelers or sleeping merchants, they have received a reputation for being a syndicate of criminals. In actuality, most of the thistlefolk are quite docile and vulnerable. But these are the former, not the latter. All right, so let's see if we can get stuff going here. So I'm new to using alchemy for a game, so I'm still trying to figure out some stuff, but there should be a way to like initiatives and stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm just gonna open a window. If you could
there
let me
it
know
goes.
if the outdoor noises are too loud, because then I'd close it again.
Will do.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Cool. So, we are going into combat. In combat, there's no initiative order per se. I will act first simply because I have to make a GM move based on the failure there. As far as your actions, once I've acted, you can choose who wants to go and who wants to do what. In doing so, you will spend an action token. This action token I will take and add to my tracker, and I get to spend those as the GM to activate enemies or hazards and do other fun things with. So the more of you that go, the more power I have to react. Now, if you have to make any reaction rolls, like for instance, you react to not fall off a cliff or something to that effect, then that does not give me an action token. But if you want to swing your sword, whatever, that will add a token to my tracker. So, these thistlefolk leap from the trees around you and surround. 2 of the, because they have the upper hand, the 3 thistlefolk rush you. Because of their special move, Ambush, they get to attack even if there are no tokens in my action tracker. This only happens when they enter the scene, so it won't be like this every time. So they are going to come at you slashing with daggers and protected by armor made of polished stone. So in that case, I am going to go after You know what? Got the big in Kari. Kari's going to be pretty near since you're right next to the wagon. So you're going to have 2 on you.
Or did I put myself facing the tree line on purpose?
Does a what is your evasion?
My evasion is 7.
7. All right. Attack guy rolls you 20. Okay. The first one does hit you for 7.
Okay. My armor is 5.
Okay.
And my lowest damage threshold is 9. So it would be minor damage. What does that 5 armor number do?
So the 5 armor will reduce the damage by 5.
Okay.
But you will have to mark a box because armor may break if it's used too much.
Okay, so I that's okay, cool. There's a lot of numbers in combat for this game.
Yeah. And then whatever goes over your minor threshold.
You know what? It wouldn't matter if I used the armor to reduce that number because it would still, and my threshold, it would still be, it wouldn't reduce it to 0. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that 1 hit.
Okay, all right. That works. And the second one, I do not believe a 6 will hit you, correct?
No, my evasion is
Okay.
7.
Perfect. So the second one makes a wild slash trying to follow up his buddy and does not hit you. All right. The third one, however, is going after Garrick and will close the distance. Does a 10 hit you? Hit your evasion?
Hits me on the nose.
All right. That is 12.
Ooh.
What amount of damage is that for you?
That'd be major.
I will go ahead and use my I am your shield. I'm gonna mark a stress in order to take
Ooh.
that hit for him.
Very nice. Love it. Teamwork.
And I will burn an armor to bring that 12 down to a 11 so that it is minor damage.
All right. Perfect. Wonderful.
Oh, I also get to reduce 12 minus. Yeah, okay. Doesn't matter.
All right. Then, lastly, no, I'm going to hold off on that one. All right. So these 3 have rushed out and are attacking Kari. And
I love the idea of the 2 like coming at my front, and then I just like stick an arm down while I'm blocking the other 2, keeping them
Holding
from
them
reaching
off.
Garrick.
Just like toddlers at a preschool.
Yep. All right. So that ends the ambush. And now we go into your turns, turning the spotlight over to whoever would like to take up the first action.
I'll do it.
Let's go,
All right.
Varian!
Yeah.
All right, so Varian, obviously, these things kind of surprised him as well. So what he's going to do, he's just going to go ahead and take a shot at one of them. Probably one of the ones that started attacking Kari. Hey,
Okay.
Garrick's fine. Okay, so what am I rolling?
So you're going to roll
2d12
your
plus
2d12 plus your weapon stat.
my
or
weapon stat with
which
it's agility. Ooh. I can do fun things with agility. All right, okay. All right, so yeah, taking a shot with agility. Okay, so that is going to be 11 hope.
Ooh, fantastic. However, that does not hit.
Ugh. Damn it. I'll probably take the shot and just go, squirrely little fuckers.
Now, does he still get to mark a hope even though that failed?
No, not
No,
in that
okay.
case. Yeah. All right.
I have
Would
a
you like
question.
to move or anything? You can do that as well. And
I would
I'll
probably
get
put-
you, Peachy.
I'll probably get into a position a bit closer to Marlowe. As in, like, a protective... yeah, just to kind of protect her a tiny bit.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Go ahead, Peachy. What you got?
So it says that my staff has the reach far. How would I be able to reach these little things with that, or?
I think that the idea behind your staff is that you're kind of like firing magic at them.
Yeah, like a.
So it's got some range.
Mhm.
You could hit them from the carriage.
And there's 3 of them.
Yes.
Okay, then I am going to fire a ball of anger at them. Sorry, do you guys hear the motorbikers?
It's all right.
I can just close it otherwise
Just-
if it's very distracting.
Can you just ask them to keep it down?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. You know, never thought about that. I'm sorry. Let me just-
We're recording. They should show some consideration.
Yeah. It's...
Nah, don't worry about it, honestly.
Anyway, not my problem. Yeah, I'm gonna fire at. Is there any of the? None of them have been injured.
None of them have been injured yet. No.
Okay, then I'm gonna pick whichever one looks the meanest, and fire at it. And I'm gonna spend a point of hope and use the not on my watch.
Ooh.
+2.
Okay. Make sure to spend your hope for that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's not very good. That's a. Wait. 9 with hope.
9 with hope.
Yeah.
That will not hit. But, I don't get a fear token, so that's nice.
Okay. Well, Marlo will also mutter in a similar fashion as Svarian did that they're pesky little fuckers.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Damn.
I
And
like the-
she'll stay and protect the cargo.
I'd like the idea of like Marlo just always swearing under her breath. It's
Yeah.
nothing she'd never normally do in civilized society, but then she's going, oh,
Obviously not.
We're in the woods. It's fine, darling.
If you curse
The
in the
trees have
woods-
ears. They can hear you.
All right. So we've taken 2 actions so far. Garrick or Kari, would you like to act as well?
Yeah, I think this arrow and this bolt of magic miss the 2 that I have at my front, and I'm like, I want to say a cool one-liner, but I can't think of one.
Oh
I
no.
need to be cooler.
I
don't actually
will-
know. I don't think Kari says anything. She's just, these things are coming at her and Garrick. I'm really annoyed that this is holding us up at this point. I think I want to impress Garrick. Like, I have put my arm out in front of this thing like somebody who's training an attack dog. That's not cool. So I'm just gonna take my axe off my back and just in one swoop try and hit the one of them in front of me, and if that hits, we'll see what
I
else I
will
do.
also draw your attention. I think Kari has an ability called Whirlwind.
That is what I'd like to use, but you
Okay.
have to activate it after you have an attack that hits. So
There you go. All right.
that was my plan. That is, you caught on to what I was describing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well that was a shit roll.
Oh no.
That is a 6 with fear. Actually, 8 with fear after my strength is added.
So I can't wait to hear the playtest feedback when we kind of go, it was shit, we died in the first encounter.
It's fine. I'll be fine.
We stop recording, go put disguises on, and hi, welcome to new, completely straight, different.
Yeah.
people.
Let me read my character sheet here. I didn't want to, but it would not change my attack roll. So nope, we're not gonna burn my once per long rest ability.
In that case,
I did realize. Sorry.
So what's
Go ahead.
up, Peachie?
I realized that I rolled an 11 and not a 9, but I'm guessing that didn't hit, right?
No, it didn't. No.
No.
These are
Just
squirrely
wanted-
little guys, yeah. So
I think I didn't
Kari-
have my axe off my back yet, and that's what really threw me
Yeah,
off.
definitely, 100%. I saw it, you know.
yeah, you saw it.
God damn it, Varian saw it.
Everybody saw it now. Kari, you struggle to get your axe off, and you slam it into the dirt next to the one that you were trying to attack, and that's when you see a fourth almost materialize in your peripheral. Does a 10 hit?
It does, yes.
Yes, okay. This one does not, it looks a little more sinister than its other three brethren. And the blade that it's wielding is this serrated blade that cuts into your thigh. And is going to deal. Oh, okay. Those.
I don't like the sound of any of these words, actually.
It's fine. I love being in danger out of character.
I would love if she
10.
just said that out loud. I love being in danger.
10 damage.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna burn another armor to make that into 5 damage, which will be minor.
Okay. At the same time, the little thistlefolk presses its little froggy hand against you, and there is this expulsion of magic that blasts you a step or two backwards and deals 6 magic damage.
Okay. That's still minor for me. I'm not gonna bother burning anything on it. Little fucking ankle biters.
That will push you into a far range from
From all 4 of them?
From all 4 of them, yes.
Okay, cool.
How many damage points have you taken?
I have taken 4. I have 3 left.
Okay, question. How do you heal someone? I don't think we covered that.
So mostly through short rests and long rests.
Gotcha.
And we could go into healing
I'll be fine.
later,
I have
but-
plenty of armor and ways to recover my armor slots, so this is what this character is made for. So
Marlo is officially very worried.
Of course.
This is one of the situations where she is not calm.
Fair
Can
enough.
I go now?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So after seeing this, Garrick will just kind of walk up and just go, "Keep your hands to yourself," and I'll attack the one that just kind of magicked her back.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
This is when it goes flawlessly for him, as
yeah,
discussed.
we established that in our character connections. Did you crit? Please tell me you crit. Tell me that
6.
face means you crit.
I didn't crit, but that's a 16 with hope.
Nice.
That hits.
Nice.
Yes.
Don't forget to
Oh,
mark
I
a
see.
hole.
As he
Yep.
as he draws his swords, like
Sorry, I've got
a sort of wave of calm sort of takes over Garrick, where he like just training kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
He's just thinking about this and just goes up and bam. So where's my damage? Okay. That is 9 points of damage.
Nice.
Very nice. That will be Okay. We've got that blow. While it might have done wonders with the lesser 3, this one's a bit more hardy. Still takes some. Still takes the blow, but it's still standing. All right. Think that's everybody so far?
Yep.
All right. In that case, I'm going to spend one of my action tokens to activate all of them. The 3 lesser are going to turn on Garrick. Let's see.
Eric, if any of them are gonna hit your like higher damage threshold, let me know.
I think a 20 would hit you.
Ah!
Ouch.
No. No. Please,
But the damage is pretty low for
cool.
4.
That's fine.
Alright.
I'm gonna mark off an armor for that, and I take nothing.
The second one is also a 20 for 4 damage.
Unfair. Rigged game.
For the moment, I'll take an armor for that.
Okay. And the last one tries to squeeze in between his brethren to get an attack in, but can't quite score it. The bigger one, having pushed Kari away, turns his sights on the 2 in the cart and is going to skitter quickly across the road.
Can I use an agility reaction?
Do you have an ability?
Because I have attack of opportunity.
Ooh, yes,
if it
you
moves out of
can.
my combat range.
Yes.
Love to see it.
So,
Love that.
That's a 14 with
That
fit.
hits.
So he doesn't go anywhere. Sorry, it doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, awesome.
I stop its movement.
Thank you.
It's like, where are you
describe
going?
How do you stop it?
As these things have just swarmed me and sort of bouncing off my armor, I've sort of... That one seems the most dangerous. Seeing that do it to Kyrie, what he's done, 7 foot tall, this is the one I'm worried about. So, as his sights goes towards the cart, as soon as he starts moving, I just stab my sword into the ground, sort of blade towards it, and just look at it and kind of going, no. I'm the one you need to worry about.
That's fantastic. I love that. Wonderful. All right. In that case...
I think it can now do whatever it likes, but it's me.
It just could not move, yeah. And that didn't come with any damage or anything?
I get 3 options. I can either keep them from moving, deal damage, or I can move with them.
That's good.
So I chose to keep them.
Really?
I like that. I like that a lot.
I like the idea of just going, they run away. No, they don't.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Then he's going to turn with a kind of burbling sneer and try and cut you. I think a 16 is going to hit, correct?
Yep.
That is 15 damage. Oof.
I'm too far
So-
away to take that. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'm going to use an armor again, which will knock it down to only a major damage. So that's okay.
Woof. All right. Back to you, folks.
Question for distance purposes, I am now
Sure.
far from, was it Thornborn?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I am now
Thistlefoot,
far
yeah.
from them. What distance
Yeah.
am I from Varian and Marlowe now? Are they very close or closer?
Yeah. You were
Okay.
pushed back toward the carriage.
Okay, I think for the time being, I am just going to stance up in front of them, assuming that some of the little guys will try and swarm towards us and not just stay on Garrick.
Okay.
And when they
Alright.
come to me, that is when I will take an action.
Perfect. I won't take an action token for that yet.
Yeah.
I want to use a spell,
Okay. Perfect.
but I have 2 questions
Sure.
about the usage of this spell. So I want to unleash chaos.
Yes.
I'm gonna read the
Just-
description.
The name, I love it.
Yes. It says, at the beginning of a session, place a number of tokens equal to your spellcast trait on this card. I can't find my spellcast trait.
Your spellcast trait
Um,
is instinct, so you have 2.
Instinct. Okay,
Yeah.
so 2. Great. And then, as far as the spell itself, it is you can make a spellcast roll against a target within far range and spend any number of tokens to channel raw energy from within yourself and unleash against them. On a success, roll a d10 equal to the tokens you spent.
Yes.
Mark a stress.
Mhm.
So yeah, the little the angry one, the ugly one.
the ugly one.
I would like to unleash chaos upon it.
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
Do I have to decide how many I spend before I roll, or can I do that after?
You make the roll first.
Okay. Come on. That's 2 12s.
Holy
Yes!
shit! All of our bad luck was saving up all the luck for that roll.
Charging
I think.
up, that's
I
what she's
think
doing,
that's
she's
how
just-
that works.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's karma.
assuming that you're going to spend both tokens,
Yeah.
you get to add 10 to the total that you roll. So you're going to roll 2d10 plus 10. And plus your
This
plus
little
your instinct.
bitch is going down. Sorry, that's not a 10, that's an 8. That's a 10. Okay. I'm gonna spend or mark a stress point and use my primordial origin to reroll any number of damage dice. I'm gonna
Ooh.
reroll my 1.
Yes.
Nice.
That's better. 7 plus 6 is 13.
13.
plus 10.
Yep.
23. Yeah.
Woof. So please describe how much of a crater this guy is now.
Marlo
I
has just
think-
had enough.
Just not on my watch, okay? So I think she's getting frustrated. She knew this was a trap, so this trap is not gonna get her because she knew just not having it. So it's a lot of emotional energy charged into this blast, and I think it just like, as much as it marks a pretty decent crater, I also think that like some of the brambles or like the little thorny things that they left are just like smoldering just a little bit. But she's calmer now. Okay.
So wait, is it just this invisible force that none of us see? Just all of a sudden there's an explosion in a crater?
No, I think like her quarter staff or like staff, magic staff, just like starts getting like a little bit hotter, and then it just like, and it's just like when a little bit of a mushroom cloud just Like the tiniest place.
Just a tiny nuclear explosion. Just a
Just
tiny one.
like a tiny.
She literally nuked him.
I love the fact that, as well, Garrick's sword is still stuck in the ground. So he just kind of looks at Kyrie like, what did I miss when I was asleep?
I
she's
think
always
Garrett's
been like
missing the eyebrows.
Yeah. They're singed.
You
Marlo
should have
just like
seen,
adjusts her hair.
You should have seen some of the tantrums.
Oh, that's
Yes.
that's amazing.
So,
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so Varian will just he was aiming when that happened, and he'll just kind of relax his bow for a second as he just looks at Marlo and kind of shakes it off for a second and goes in to take another shot. So so was that the boss man that just got absolutely nuked?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot at one of the other little shits.
All right. Oh, and make sure you take a hope there, Marlo.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so hopeful.
Okay, so I am going to use an ability.
Okay.
I have when I make an agility roll, I can mark stress to re-roll hope die. So I'm re-rolling my hope die. So marking stress.
Wonderful.
All right, that's a bit more like it. So that's going to be 18.
Fantastic. That is a hit.
With hope or
Okay.
fear, just for.
Sorry, that is true. That is with fear.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
All right. And I will be doing 6 points of damage.
All right. That. Let's see. 6 points of damage. You nearly pierce through this thistlefolk. Center mass. Deep wound. Not dead, but definitely will wish he was.
Can I just say that the fear is because of Marlo?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You're welcome.
You know what? I think I will go back on what I said. Would it take like more action tokens or whatever for me to both move and take my action, or how does like movement?
So that is a good question. I would say that in this little test that you can move and attack if you'd like.
Okay, cool. Because if one of them is seeming like they're pretty damaged, I'm gonna be like, oh, all right. I think Marlo has got this over here. Not going to let anybody get close to you. I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna charge back in. I'm gonna go for one of the ones that has not been hit yet. They are all standing clustered enough that I'm gonna try and hopefully, if I don't roll like shit, use roll one. I'm sorry, Juan. Swearing? I never asked. I should have.
Go
asked.
for it. Go
Okay,
for it.
cool.
Great.
Fuck this guy.
Also, Juan, you need to
Exactly.
press that you're still there. Otherwise, it's gonna kick you out of alchemy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I need to
That
remember
is
to do that.
much better. That is a 17 with.
17 hits.
Okay, I am going to go ahead and spend that hope that I just gained to whirlwind, so that the other little buggers around this one are going to take half the amount of damage. That is
Nice.
going to be 8 damage and 4 to the ones that I didn't directly target.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I spent a hope to use my whirlwind ability, so on a successful attack roll against a target, spend 1 hope to use that roll against all enemies in your range, which is very close.
Yes.
For half damage to the ones that weren't the direct target. So 8 to
Wonderful.
the main target and 4 to the others.
All right. And who was your main target again? Was it the one?
One of
that
the
is already-
undamaged ones.
One of the undamaged. Perfect. Because your blade carves a path through one of the poor little thistlefolk, and your follow through cuts down the one that Varian had wounded, and gives the other one a nice clip across the head. And yeah, so you felled
I'm imagining
one,
them having some kind of like leaf and thorn hair accessories or something, and I just like trim off the top of one of them. My angle was too high.
almost scalped them.
Give them a little haircut.
Yep. All right. Think that's all four of you, correct?
I believe so.
Garrick
Honestly,
he had a reaction.
Yeah, Garrick.
Do you want
Oh,
to,
that's
or
right.
do you want
Garrick,
to not
go
give her
ahead,
that action
yeah.
token?
Yeah.
I'll see if I can finish one of them off.
I think there's. Is it just
Two
there
left.
are two left?
Two left,
Yeah, there's
I
two
believe,
left.
yeah.
Yeah. One
There's
is
the
heavily
one that's been
wounded.
shot and cleaved. The
Yeah.
dust, and then. So that's a double 9.
Nice.
Yes! That is a crit. Lucky break, gain your hope, and you deal your max weapon damage plus whatever you roll.
So that'll be 8 plus 8 plus 3. So 19 points of damage.
And were you attacking the heavily wounded or the other one?
I think as Kari's just kind of swung around, clipped this one, and he's looked back at her and just kind of growled. Still a bit sleepy. He's just walked up, put his sword at the top of the head, and just went bonk. just
And-
mercy, just done.
And just collapses into what looks like this little sad-looking bush on the ground.
Would it be an action to look at the other one and just go, run?
I will let you do it. Because the final thistlefolk, heavily wounded, having watched his 3 fellows get nuked and cut down in rapid succession, is very much ready to call it quits. And will scamper off into the woods, save if anybody wants to provide any parting shots.
Oh yeah.
Looking at Varian.
It's always nice to know. I now know where John is or Juan is on every single screen because everybody went.
Everybody
I know
wants-
where he was.
Oh yeah, Varian.
What was it? How exactly was Varian's basic personality trait described? Would you please remind us one?
I can. You know, thank you for asking me that. I will remind you. It is a shoot first, ask questions later approach.
Yep.
Any problem that can't be solved with a bow isn't a problem at all.
No, not at all.
So the whole moving a cart thing, it's not a problem. Anyway, so yeah, I am gonna take a shot at this thing. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so that is it's not gonna be great to be fair. That's only gonna be an 8 with hope.
8 will not hit it. I reread, and yes, you do gain hope even for failures. So go ahead
Ooh,
and take
thank you.
your hopes. But the thistlefolk is going to
just for the sake of, I just want to just try, just for the sake of expelling some more
go for it.
stress.
Dealing with
Go for
personal
it.
issues, we get it.
Just like, yeah, just a little. That's actually quite good. It's 17 with hope.
That hits. Roll your damage.
That's it's not great. It's 4 damage.
It's still enough. These things are lightly armored. They can't take a lot. So what kind of resembles like a laser blast in like Star Wars, hitting someone in the back, and they like, ah!
I love the idea of it being in the underbrush, and Varian fires the shot and misses, and just like a firebolt follows it and just leaves a trail of like burned vegetation, so you can very clearly see this poor thing laying on the ground unconscious.
I imagine very much it's like she's not even like moving her staff to do it. She's just like
So yeah, so we need to cue the Wilhelm scream.
Finger guns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.